Welcome to Microsoft Teams. This clip is about the possibilities of communicating more productively with file and chat collaboration, how we might explore working and team communication, and adapt our working environment, remote or otherwise. It's not about how to use Teams or the protocols needed behind it, nor about replacing the external facing video, voice and conference room solutions we already use, like Zoom and 3x. Since travel isn't an option, I was looking for a good conference platform, and as part of that looking, I found out more about Microsoft Teams, which was introduced by ydmt at the beginning of lockdown. I attended a Digital Enterprise webinar series. If you have a chance, check the series out. They're aimed at businesses and they are pretty good. I found out there was a whole level of organising beyond meetings that Teams does well. It's not just for video conferencing. Efficient remote working, the new paradigm, and good communication is key. We might long for the office, but the office we knew is long gone for the time being, and our commute is replaced with other activities, in my case PE with Joe. Home's becoming a thrilling new future of work for some of us, a new working environment, and for others it's become a 4-month-long learning curve, resulting in Zoom conference bingo, and who's not tried this one? It's also resulted in hours of frustration. Since the pandemic, there has been a surge in online tools for collaborative working. The show must go on, and that's it, that's the fun over. So, what is Teams? Step 0. Teams is part of Office 365. We are a Microsoft-centric office, so it fits in really well. It's a communication and collaboration hub where you can hold discussions with your co-workers, have one-to-one conversations over chat, voice, video, and you can view and open shared documents. It revolves around a package of apps integrated into Office 365. This includes third-party apps like Zoom. Like any package, you may not use all of these or think them relevant, but over time they will grow on you. And this is what it looks like. And I do hope you're familiar with what it looks like, because we're all part of a team somewhere. So how does it improve teamwork and collaboration? Well, imagine it's the 1970s and we're just learning how to send email. Fast forward, we can do it with our eyes shut, but it's pervasive, full of bad practice. You go away for a weekend and come back to mountains of email, most of which is rubbish, junk asides, and absolutely nothing to do with your work. Think of Teams as different houses. In the houses, you have different rooms. So we have here Paddy's private team, that's his house, and then you have the different rooms. There's general, production, sales. These are channels. Essentially, they're topics. Topics in the house where internal conversations go on. So instead of spending time looking through an Outlook box that contains messages from everyone about everything, Teams compartmentalises the information into channels, rooms, and puts it into context. The channels only contain the conversations, the meetings, and the documents relating to the topic in that specific channel. So instead of getting sidetracked with random email or getting stuck trying to clean up your inbox, you can focus your attention and time on the channels where you actually do your work. Using channels can improve communication, and it does give increased transparency. The biggest challenge in keeping everyone in the loop and helping everyone feel like they know what's going on is exacerbated with working remotely. With Teams, you post your message in the relevant channel. You use the app mention. Let me do the app mention. You use the app mention for everybody that you want notified, and then you leave it for everyone else in the team to read if they want to. You can also search using the app mention, so you actually only get messages that are relevant to you. Now, conversations within the rooms, these replace internal email. So we have here our house, launch team, we have here the room, the design, that's the design room, and these are our conversations. When people join a team, they can see the history of work-related conversations. This can make handover so much more seamless. Within the conversations, there's the conversation there. Within the conversations, you can set meetings, and you can also share documents and work on documents together. File sharing. Well, first off, actually, I should say it's not all about work. We'd need a coffee break channel, obviously, for the fun stuff and for keeping all the GIF wars in one place. Everyone thinks they're the funniest person in the world, but it also keeps it separate from that important work stuff. And then there's also the chat feature, instant messaging. We're all familiar with that one, where you can have small one-to-ones or group conversations for an immediate response, not the internal email conversations. File sharing. This is real-time collaboration on files through SharePoint or OneDrive. You can invite guests into your team. There's no more emailing of attachments. The files are shared as links. You can apply local level permissions to the folders. But the best feature for me particularly is that the version history is built in. You can revisit the changes. No more working on a version that you worked on 3 weeks ago and oh my god, I thought I'd done it, and it turns out actually you have. The OneDrive app you're able to work off online. It then resyncs and uploads the file that you've been working on. Do let people know that you're working on it offline, however. Not being able to access information from anywhere on any device is a really big sell. This isn't doing away with the ydmt server, the long-term data retention. It's a collaborative platform for working on files together. Meetings and conferences. Now we're much more familiar with this now, particularly the online thing. Internal meetings, all the conversations are retained within the channels. You can revisit the resources that are shared in internal meetings really easily. The calendar syncs seamlessly with your Outlook as well. The best feature internal meetings, the transcript feature. It's a great option for reviewing the meeting, creating notes, or when sound quality is not particularly great. It also makes taking the minutes and chairing at the same time a hell of a lot easier. You can invite clients from outside the organisation to the meetings. They don't need to download anything to join in. All they need to have is an email address. It's another option to Zoom, only with Microsoft Teams, the documents are centralised within the meeting. Teams scores way better than Zoom for when you're wanting to work together with people, when you're working together on documents, and for when version history of documents is really important. Setting your status. Like 3CX, you can set your status so the team can see where you are, but you can also put a message, you can put time, you can put your alternative contact. You can set it to time limited, so you can never be permanently signed into 3CX again. Teams also performs exactly like your traditional phone system. You can make calls, receive calls, transfer calls. You've got auto attendance, you've got call queues, you've got voicemail. It does it all for an internal system. Other cool stuff. Bots are arguably one of the best features. You've got the T-bot that answers the most basic questions about Teams you could want, and I've used that quite a lot. Polybot for polling your co-workers. The Stats bot for delivering scheduled reports via, say, Salesforce or Google Analytics, and there's quite a few of us who use those now as well. I've put this together not because I'm on commission, but because Teams improves collaboration and communication within an organisation. Everybody says that. And within an evolving company like ydmt, making the most of development opportunities needs better communication. I've barely touched on the features that Teams can do. We've moved into a consultancy era. Project planning is vital. Teams has got this nifty little planner up here where work can be assigned and tracked real time within the team, and that's really, really important. Outlook has still got its place as the external facing communication, and our server has still got its place, obviously, as the long-term data retention. So to sum up, Teams is a collaboration app. It helps your team to stay organised, have conversations all in one place. Have an explore. It's an opportunity to move forward in internal communication, and I think it's got a place for us developing new work programs within ydmt as long as everybody in the team uses it. Thank you.